Welcome everybody to another episode of Chopping It Up. I'm your host Ryan Wenndt, aka the Eagle. Um, Before I introduce the guy sitting next to me, I gotta give a huge shout out to Alex Thompson for hooking me up with this HyperX microphone. Um, just gave it to me as a pure gift out of the kindness of his heart. Alex, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. And back to chopping it up, I got a special guest with me today, Mr. Chris Roberge. What is going on?
Nothing much. Doing good.
You look wore out. Look like you had a long day.
I had a long day. I had to work this morning like 6:45 a.m. my time. That's Pacific Standard Time, so it's pretty early morning for me.
Hey, buddy. Being an adult sucks.
Oh
if
yeah, it does.
if we could just sit here and mess around on our computers and play, sim racing and all that fun stuff, I think everybody in the league would probably do that.
Oh yeah, they would.
So let's get the big elephant out of the room because you are one not out of the United States of America. You are out of Canada, which is unique all on its own. Uh, Give us a spiel on how you ended up here racing with a bunch of gremlins like us.
Well, I started in 2017. I started iRacing here. I got into called Simability Racing, Sim Possible Racing. That's with people with a disability. So I started doing that for a while. Then I graduated to trying to see what I could do with different leagues. I was in Signature Esports with Jason for a while, for a couple of years. I've been in all different leagues, and when I saw Jason doing this broadcast, a chop shop racing here, so I decided, well, I might as well get hold of whoever who owns Chop Shop. So I did, and I got hooked to racing with Chop Shop.
Yeah, and a lot of guys are pretty. I would say they're pretty familiar with you already because you get a lot of interview time, man. You're always finding yourself at a podium spot, which is always awesome.
Oh yeah, well they call me hard charge king because ha- almost like 90% of I get a hard charge every single time. Um, Including Jason say on the nicest Canadian he ever met, and everybody says that. Well, because I just let people go by me. I don't cause a lot of problems on track. Sometimes I might get a mistake, pushing people up more or whatever, and stuff like that, or have someone have a little temper with me. But I just let it slide through and just keep going what I gotta do and see what happens.
Yeah. I want to circle back. And before I ask this question, I got to remind you and I got to remind everybody else the whole purpose of the podcast is to get to know the person that I'm interviewing, right?
Yeah.
And because not everybody knows everything about everybody, and a lot of people keep stuff hush hush, and your life is private, and everybody needs to respect people's boundaries. But it's my job to kind of exploit some of that stuff. So you said you raced with what was it? Sim what?
Sim Possible.
Sim,
It's with yeah, Sim
okay,
Possible Racing.
you said Sim Possible, and it was a league for disabilities, right?
Yes, yes.
Are you disabled?
Yes, I have a learning disability. Same with my wife. She's got a learning disability and she has seizures and all that. So I just do what I do like normal people do. Just do whatever I can do.
Well, buddy, I'm sure I speak amongst a lot of people. Like, I don't think anybody even knows, and obviously, there ain't no disability when it comes with you in a race car. I can tell you that much, buddy. Because you're a fast cat, and you're hard to keep up with at times. We've had our differences on the track, obviously, but there ain't no disability there.
No, but I try not to just expose myself that way. I just want to just do what like normal people do and not focus what I have wrong with me or anything. I just do what what normal people do.
There's the wife right there, huh?
Yeah, that's my wife there. No, it won't be broadcast yet there. Probably later on tonight or tomorrow. Okay, okay.
How's
My
it
wife
going?
says hello. There. You gotta come over here so they can see you. This is my wife, Jenny Roberge. We've been actually married for 13 years, almost 13. It's actually the end of this month. So she's been supporting my racing and all that. She's cheering me on a lot. She's watched me all the time. Sometimes she might forget, but that's just part of life.
Hey, well, and she's rocking that new hoodie too. Didn't you just have those hoodies done?
Yes, I got one too, the black one. So Jason Sincher made it. So she got her pinky color. I got my black and red one.
Is there anything on the back? Tell her spin around if there's anything
No,
something on the
there's
back.
nothing
No,
in the
nothing
back.
on the back.
Just a plain
Okay,
one. Yeah.
I got you. See, you should just put the last. You should almost copy that and put it on the back too, or done done some like
Or a
You know
big.
what? Jason should put a big signature thing on there. You know.
Well, actually, it does. It's actually have it on the arm sleeves.
Oh, on the sleeve. Okay, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's clean. Well, he made the whole chopping it up one. It's hard to
Nice.
see, but
I can see it from in there. Yeah. Yeah. My little godson here, we're getting him contacted Jason about it to get a sweater for him and all that, and get him on there because he's been a support too. We actually did some racing with with a bunch of Chop Stop guys. Joined with a Choice for Tots for before Christmas. So here's the Frank, our godson, is actually famous for YouTube. So they love him on YouTube. So might as well put him on, give him a
hey,
sweater for it.
you know, well, you keep throwing him on there. You know, if he hits the big time, he could take care of you guys
Oh yeah,
extra early. Listen, I mean, it sounds like you're on a good path for that. So why not? You know, exploit
yeah,
those children. Why not?
oh yeah.
um, I wanted to ask what you know. You say you get up early for work. What do you do for a living?
I work at a restaurant. It's
Okay.
so I do prep work. So prepare the food for the rest of the restaurant for the rest of the day or the night. So they have some food for whatever. So I do that. Sometimes in the morning I do unloading the truck. Well, not unloading the truck, but when the truck comes in with the food, I just put all the food away and stock them up, stock all the shelves up.
You know, I had one of those jobs once upon a time, and Jason's probably a little bit better than me because obviously Jason has a history in the restaurant business. But me, dude, I just found myself like snacking all day long, and then I was like, well, there's a reason I'm fat. So
Oh.
you look like you're a skinny guy and you keep in shape. So you must not be snacking as much as I would have been.
I was pretty thin at the time because I was in Special Olympics. What is that Alex Thompson's been doing Special Olympics stuff for I think his friends or whatever. I used to be an athlete, so I used to travel a lot over the world almost. Not quite, but almost. Ever since I broke my leg, it kind of slowed me right down. And after I got back from my Worlds in LA in 2015, so after that, I just say I'm done.
What what was your sport? What were you doing when you were traveling?
So it was mostly softball. So how we work to go to the Worlds is the qualifying. So you have to qualify really well. You gotta get at least first place no matter what. Same as in nationals. No, provincial. What do you call provincials? Thank you, dear. And then nationals, and then you go to the worlds, and depends how your attitude and all that stuff. So I went to the worlds, two different worlds in different years. So it's been really nice.
Oh, how'd you do when you were doing the worlds?
So 2011, I was in Athens, Greece. We came home second place. silver. We were short by 2 runs to get the goal, but they beat us by 2 runs in, so that's okay. And then we went 2015. We went to LA, so that's my first good time there. And we brought home bronze.
Nice. So podium both times you went.
Yep.
That a guy. Did they give you any medals or trophies or anything?
Yes, those are medals.
Okay. She got. She gonna go get them?
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Do you ever find yourself just wearing them around the house just for fun?
No, I didn't. I didn't wear those yet.
That's awesome, dude. I'd be wearing them all the time, man. You earn the hell out of that stuff, man. That's not.
Well,
That's.
when I
I
went,
mean, that's not an easy task.
yeah, well, when I went to Athens, Greece, it was really hot there because they get 364 days a year of sun, nothing but sun.
Damn, Robers, that's more than two.
These are all mine. So this one was in LA,
Those things are thick too.
and
You could hit a
the
small midget with one of those.
oh yeah, actually this was actually where the LA Coliseum we were at for open ceremonies.
Oh, no kidding.
But we were in the bigger university there in LA, so our competition we were there in that university in LA.
That's awesome.
Um, and then oh, no, that's a different one there. That's not my LA. And this one was in Athens, Greece.
Oh, that's cool, man. What was Greece like when you were over there? Did you guys have like a strict itinerary, or did they let you guys go out and kind of enjoy it a little bit?
So we had a bunch of Team Canada. We were there. We went to call it's a 12-hour ferry ride to get there. It's called Rhode Island. So we were there for it took 12 hours to get there, and then we stayed there for a week to get used to the temperature, uh, the food, and the beach. Of course, it's hot on the beach, and and then after that we went to Athens and start to our competition.
Holy smokes, man! Were you nervous when you were there?
Oh yeah, different countries. Oh yeah, because we got to travel places there. It kind of we were there where they played the Olympics in 2000. No, 1998. They played the Olympics in that little arena there they have there. And then we were just taking a little bus, well, a bus up to look at some sceneries there.
How old were you when you were doing this?
Well, I'm 42, almost gonna be 43 in October. So I went up there in 2011. I was in my 20s.
Okay. Dang, man. You know what? I'll be honest with you, man. I would have pegged you to be like in your mid 30s, to be honest with you. So you're doing
Don't
something
worry.
right, man. That you don't look like a giant old man with, you know, all this gray hair and a walker, and looking like Mike Strickland.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of people think I'm quite younger than that because I told them at my work one time. They said, "How old are you?" I said, "Well, I'm in my 42s." And they said, "You do not look like you're 42s. You look like you're in your 20s." So I said, "Well, thank you, but nah, I'm at that age."
Have, did you have, you know, I don't want to press on the whole disability thing, but I am curious because I obviously I'm not very aware of it. Did you find like as you got older, like it didn't hold you back as much, or is it something that gets worse, as you get older? Or is it just something that's just constantly there?
It's constantly there mostly. When I was really young, a lot of people have been bullying to me. I just kind of shut them out. One time, one boy kind of got me up to it, and I didn't work really well with that boy. Actually, I turned around and got him good. Kind of had to pick him up and body slam him. He's a lot more. He's in his. He played football, so I didn't get in trouble from school from that. Kind of lucked out on that one.
Well, I mean, I think the people at home watching this need to take notes. Listen, you mess with Roberge, you're going to get the horns, son. You don't play that game.
No, they don't want to.
Well, and I mean, you're obviously, especially on track. You know, you're definitely you give you give as much as you can, and you're a clean racer. That's all there is to it.
Oh
And
yeah,
but if there's a line crossed, you ain't scared to retaliate either, which is what I love about you. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, it's like you ain't gonna push me around, Bubba.
No,
I respect anybody that's like that.
oh yeah.
So, so being up in Canada, I mean, is there any disadvantages to the sim racing aspect of it? Like, you know, internet latency,
No,
downloads, nothing like that?
our internet is pretty good here. It's because we're actually combined. It's called Shaw and Rogers now. So because Rogers bought Shaw, that's our internet provider or TV. Um, we do have towers up here. I don't know if it's down in the states, but we have different places around. So we our internet is really good here.
Do, have you ever thought about leaving?
In Canada, nah. Canada, I like Canada. They're pretty nice. States I do don't mind because there's places I haven't been yet in my
Right.
life, but except LA is the closest, and Orange County area, a little, well, couple hours away from LA. So
Do, do you have any plans on, you know, coming down to the states to catch some races?
one time, my wife and I want to go down to Daytona, watch NASCAR there, or Vegas, but Vegas is kind of gambling area, so I might as well just keep away from there.
Oh, I mean, it's just money. You can't take it with you when you die, anyways.
No.
I tell you what though, if you do come down to Daytona, you better be giving me a call because I'm only 2.5 hours away from there, and my ass will definitely be up there to party with you and to watch that race. No
Oh
question
yeah.
about it.
Oh yeah.
Um, how how did you? I mean, like how? I know you started with. I keep forgetting that first league that you said. Um,
Sim Possible.
Sim Possible. Okay,
Yes.
so before Sim Possible, let's start at the beginning. All right, have you always been a race car guy? Have you always enjoyed watching the races? Is it something that
I
you fell into?
I my wife and I always watch NASCAR. Um, I think when Dale Senior wrecked, we kind of stopped watching racing after that because it's just we lost a good driver there, so
It was hard to
we haven't
watch.
been. So we can't. It's hard to watch drivers now. My wife is like junior errors, but when he retired, we just don't. We sometimes watch NASCAR. Sometimes we just not worrying about it.
So I mean, we're talking nowadays though, right? Like you only watch it on occasions.
Yeah, on occasions, who's on, whoever. Sometimes I do like Chase because I like number nine. Number nine is actually my favorite number. And 98, of course. Those two numbers I like mostly. So
What's your wife's favorite driver?
number three
Austin Dillon, huh?
or Dale Senior. Oh, Junior? No. Oh, he still race once in a while.
Yeah, he does. He does his Xfinity stuff from time to time, but I don't think I don't think we're ever going to see him in a cup car ever again.
No.
He too many concussions. I mean, it scared him, and I don't blame him. I mean, it would scare me too. Um, so you were into NASCAR. Dale's accident happened. You guys kind of faded away from it a little bit. What did were you already into iRacing during that time, or is that something that came a little bit afterwards?
Uh, I started Iris in 2017, and then I haven't stopped ever since then. So,
How'd you find out about it?
I was just looking around. It was on Facebook a couple of times. I saw an ad about people with a disability or any other disability they have. So I just contact with them and then start racing with them. And when that fell out, there was a called Symbility race. I actually finished two races from that. I'm already two-time champ now. I was late model, and now last week on Mondays I was a champ for the Cup next gen cars.
Did you get any trophies or anything for that?
I got one trophy. Somewhere's back there.
You just
My
Man, you just got trophies and medals all over that place, don't you?
Oh yeah, I used to be a skier. And I got a lot more medals in skiing, but and that's long gone now.
Were you skiing in your 20s too?
I was in my early 20s, yes, because we were pretty close to the mountains here, the ski mountains here. So this is a Symbility champ for. Well, we did the what do you call those? The modified cars. We
Yeah.
did like 200 laps on Oxford race course, and we did 200 laps and I kind of won that one. Then I won the late models 23 one recently, and then the cup.
What were you doing in skiing? Was it like racing skiing or is it like
Yes, I was
tricks or
a ski racer.
real?
Yes,
So
doing
so
slalom.
so I mean, if there's racing involved, we can count Chris Roberge in, right?
I guess so.
Listen, guys, if you ever see a guy at a grocery store running that cart down the aisles as fast as he possibly can, it's probably Chris. He's probably in a race with something or somebody. So we'll just
or race for the deals.
yeah. See, you wouldn't. I don't know if you guys have this in Canada, but we have like the Black Friday stuff after Thanksgiving down here, and like everything's supposedly like super cheap and on sale or whatever. But there's some crazy people out there that the second the doors open, they're elbowing up and they're going to work. So I could definitely see you you doing something like that. It would be funny.
Oh, that's pretty bad on Christmas or any other Black Fridays we have here too. It's just like the mall's packed or anything's packed. It's just like, excuse me, coming through, coming through.
Well, I mean, I don't think Caffrey would say excuse me. He just put his elbows up and bully his way through there. You know how he is, though.
Yeah.
Um. So you found out about iRacing like on Facebook or whatever. What? I see your stand back there. Was that your first set of wheels and pedals?
So I have two. Well, now I have three. So I got the far end is a G27. I still race that sometimes because I do a lot of trucking on sim. And then I got the 923 Logitech, and my newest one was the new Logitech Pro, G Pro, for the new thing I have.
Is so that's what you're racing on now?
Yes.
Does that come as like a set with pedals and everything, or are your pedals a different brand?
They're the same brand as, so it's all new now, so everything is all different for the feel of it. Quick release it's actually a direct drive for the Logitech Pro. Only thing I have to, that's like whatever intent, it's about whatever price for it and all that. So it's really good steering wheel. I like it.
I mean, your guys' prices ain't much higher than ours. I don't think, are they?
Uh, so no, ours is so if you're say $30 and your kind of money is like a little bit more for us, so
Okay.
we had to pay more.
Hey,
Just give
man, that's what you get for being in that giant country of yours. Don't break it.
There you go.
there.
There we go. Good to roll.
This for your wife right there.
It just gives you a little beeping noise. Say battery's low. Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean it's hard to concentrate having an interview with something ting ting ting.
Yeah.
I fully get that. Um, so coming up, you get your wheels and pedals and you start racing. Did you? I mean, obviously, with a guy that has a quote unquote learning disability, and I'm not saying that like you're full of shit, but I'm saying it like you know what I mean, like because
Yeah.
clearly, you know better than anybody that there is a learning curve when it comes to racing,
Hmm.
and obviously being somebody that has a learning disability, I mean, you're really, I mean, you're a challenge everywhere you go, and I, I find it. I mean, I think it's awesome personally, and I base my racing off your racing because I'm still learning. I mean, I think you're always going to be learning, obviously, but like if I can't keep up with you, I'm never going to progress forward because you're always finding a way up front. Always, always. And it irritates the hell out of me because you're a hard person to get around too. Like you don't make it easy, which I love it because it just makes me a better driver. Um
Yeah.
with that being said, did you struggle a lot starting out, coming up through the ranks, or is it just something that just kind of like it just molded with how you are as a human being? Because some people just have that natural talent, right?
Yeah. So I learn from other drivers. So whoever who's really good in front of me, I try and learn off of them too, and try to get myself better at it, and try and beat them. Like sometimes I could beat Andrew Payne sometimes or whatever, but that's like once a blue moon. Same with Nate. Sometimes once a blue moon I could beat him, but it's just learning for me too. So I try to get better to be top racer.
Well, and I mean, you're one of the guys, like Dove was going to stay out tonight on that first caution or on the stage caution, and he's seen you stay out, and I'm like, dude, Roberge stays out on like almost every stage. I always see you stay out. I'm like, the guy knows what he's doing, whether it's getting a stage point or he's just putting himself in a position to where he has that last extra set at the very end of the run, which has definitely paid you dividends in the past. I've
Oh
seen
yeah,
you win races based off that strategy. And I don't think you're keeping it a secret by any means because I mean, it's almost the same thing through every race. Now, after the stage, obviously, your strategy can change um, from probably what you originally plan on doing. Is that something like going into a race and practicing? Do you already have a good idea of what you plan on doing for that race, or is it one of those things that's just kind of constantly changing depending on how the race goes?
it just depends how the race goes. So if there was a first caution, I go in just to top up, check my tires, how my tires are doing, because sometimes the way that my tires and how steady I can be with the wheel, just to see how it goes, and a few times. And plus, it's too crowded for me to go in there when a whole bunch of vehicles come down. It's just a mayhem down there. So I try to avoid the mayhem, and just in case I don't want to get rear-ended or me rear-ended someone else by accidentally or anything could happen. So I try to avoid all that and to just hopefully just stay out to be okay or try and get at least a point just to lead the lap. It's to avoid stuff.
Well, and I don't think you're one that typically makes a lot of mistakes, especially mistakes to the caliber that ends somebody's night. Um, with that being said, I was one of those guys not too long ago that destroyed your car because of my mistake, and I obviously I got a lot of work to do. I mean, it was a stupid move. So I mean, I understand where you're coming from because the whole purpose I put myself in those positions is to avoid getting ran over, but it's so hard, and especially in chop shop, so hard because
Yeah,
everybody's so competitive. It's like you got to be faster than the guy behind you, but slower than the guy in front of you. And I don't know how you gauge it better than I mean, you seem to gauge it better than anybody. Like you'll let guys go, then you'll pass them again, then you'll let them go again, and then next thing you know, you're up front, and it's like 10 laps to go and Roberge is up there playing with the lead, and it's like, where did you come from? Like, no one no one's seen you all race long, and now you stick your head into the fight, and it's like, this guy's faster than all of us and no one knew it. What I mean, does that take a lot of discipline on your part just to hang out and back when you know you're faster than a lot of the guys in front of you?
Yeah, it does take quite a bit of beating out of me, or a challenging for me. So I try and do what I can do best for that part. Hopefully, something you could play out. They could be screwing up on part of the racing, and there's advantage for me, or it could be challenge for me.
Well, and I think you know, I think in Shop, it the whole thing's a challenge because there's so many good guys, and I consider you one of those. I would put you in the category of Burke, Day, Stryker, Hammond, Bigger, maybe Bigger. I mean, Bigger's kind of in his own realm. I love bringing Biggert up into conversations in the podcast because everybody hates it. Like
Uh,
he's like the Tom Brady in Chop Shop. It's great. Like every everybody wants to see the guy lose, but he's just so good. And it's like, man, why don't you just follow him around? You can learn a lot. Which is
yeah.
what I do with you. I like to follow you around and see what your moves are. So thank you for letting me follow you around to learn a
Oh,
few
no problem.
things. I appreciate it, and I'm glad you run me as hard as you do and as easy as you do when I need you to be easy. So again, that's awesome. What's your plan? I mean, do you ever think ahead on, like your sim racing career, on like what your plan is season in and season out, or year in and year out? Like let's just put a scenario up there. Let's just say our cup season gets over and you place 10th overall, right? Do you start planning right after that season, like, okay, this is what I got to do different for the next season so I can have a chance at winning it? Or is it just out of sight, out of mind, and you cross the bridge when you get there?
It's just crossed my bridge. It's wherever I'm happy with what position I'm at. At least I'm having fun. I don't care how good or great or city I do, but it's just see how well. It's just fun to hang out with all the great guys here. It's just really great.
So, I mean, do you get bored when we don't have a race? Like, you're just like, damn it, I got nothing to do tonight. Or do you just find another league that races that night, or you just sit at home and eat popcorn with the old lady?
No, I do a lot of American Truck Simulator, so I've been driving on the game. So if I get bored, I play that, or I go on the other computer or my in our room and just play like sim farming games or whatever. Anything with sim, I play.
So, I mean, you're just a simulator kind of guy. You know what? Have you ever done one of those construction simulators where you can operate like the
Yes,
backhoe and
I
stuff?
I have that. But they haven't been playing. I've been playing mostly Farm Simulator 2022, so I've been playing with that bit. So and all that stuff. So I'm learning.
Oh, hey, man, maybe you'll have a career in farming one of these days. You just don't know it
Or
yet.
the convoy with American Truck Simulator.
Listen, I drove a truck. I owned a trucking company. It's not. It you. It takes a certain kind of human being to do that
Yeah,
gig, and I did it for 8 years. I'm not that guy. And I mean, my grandpa trucked, my other grandpa trucked, my old man trucked, and it's just, I was like, oh yeah, it's in my blood. No, it isn't. It isn't. I mean, you get sleep deprived, and
yeah.
it's a job.
It's a brutal for being a truck driver
Well, and I could imagine it's probably crappy in Canada, as cold as it gets, and as much snow as you get.
and dangerous too because we have a few mountains that are uh, pretty bad there. There's actually a TV show called highway to hell, or 401 they do a lot of trouble trucking. See these big huge rigs getting big wrecks and all that stuff. It's kind of scary.
I'm going to. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do this. I'm gonna move this. Give me a second here.
Oh yeah.
I want you to show me exactly where you're at in Canada. We're going to. Here we go. This is a good map. Maybe. Where'd that image go? Let's go back. We could do this, I bet. Like blow this up here.
Drink my husband coffee.
I'll figure this back out. Well, that's horrible. What is this map sucks, man. I liked it too for a second here.
Oh, you're on Google Map?
Yeah. I'm trying to be anyways. Here, let's do this one. Because I'll be honest with you, man. I've never been to Canada. I don't know anything about Canada. I know it's easy to get in Canada from the States, and it's hard as hell to get back into the States from Canada.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's do this. We're going to have some fun. We're going to go here. We're going to go here. We're going to bust this up. All right, can you see this map?
Yep.
So where is Chris Roberge located at?
Okay, so that little on the Pacific Ocean,
Yep, we're over there.
right above. Yep. If you go down with a little island there, a big long island there,
Right here.
that right there, that's
Yep.
where actually Jason and I live on.
Jason Day, correct?
Yes, Jason Day.
Oh, we can zoom this in here. So you're over? Are you over here by Victoria?
Yes. So I'm up. I'm pretty much like a midway there.
Okay.
It's called Courtney.
All right.
There's an Air Force base there, so it's called Comox. So so Jason and I, Day lives there on that island there.
We're just zooming this bad boy in so everybody can see. So everybody knows where to find Mr. Roberge. So is this like a legit island, or does it connect like somewhere up here?
No, there's a ferry from Vancouver to on the island, and it actually goes to Victoria too. So we got like 3 different connections onto the island there.
All right.
And
And I'm sorry. So do you work on the island, or do you have to take like a ferry every day?
no, I work on the island. It's a pretty big
Okay.
island.
Oh, really? Well,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, obviously, when you blow it up compared, a little island compared to Canada, it looks
Yeah.
tiny. But I could imagine it being pretty solid. And all these, yeah. So all this brown stuff is sea level,
British
obviously,
Columbia, yeah.
right? So those are mountains,
And a little
obviously.
bit from where Fort Nelson is. That's part of us too.
Where's Fort Nelson at?
Just up top of both Prince Rupert is.
Oh, okay. So right up here, I got you.
Yeah, that's part of ours too.
That's crazy, dude. I would have thought you'd been like somewhere on the east side. So,
Oh,
'cause,
the Toronto or anything? No,
yeah,
not the same
typically
time
when
as
I
you
meet
guys.
somebody, that's where they're at. Yeah. Yeah. So if you zoom out, yeah, you're right there, man. You might as well just swim over to the States. They'd never know it.
They got
What?
borders there too.
Oh, do they? How big is? How big is that water splitting in between? Like, how long's that ferry ride?
So from Vancouver to the island, not to Victoria, but to the it's called Nanaimo. That's another beach. It's about 2 hours ferry ride tops. Depends how windy it is. About an hour 45 minutes tops with no
So,
wind.
so we're probably talking.
A
Let's
few
just say,
miles.
let's let's probably 120 miles, something like that. I mean, if the boat's going at 60 miles an hour, right, and it takes 2 hours, so
Well,
you'd be
these
at
are pretty slow
120 miles.
ferries.
So I mean, we're probably talking what over 200 miles, right? Just in
Yeah.
water. That's crazy, dude. How often do you go over to the mainland?
Um, and if I go for my competition, it goes over there sometimes. So it depends.
Holy cannoli, man! So you'd have to leave early then, huh?
Uh huh.
That's crazy, dude. And you said Jason Day lives over in that on that same island?
Yes, he's in Victoria area.
Really? Have you guys ever met each other?
No, Jason Day thought he was gonna come up, but he decided not to come up because he's got a flag, the top stop flag behind you there.
Yep.
I got one too, so I'm just waiting for him to send that. So
Sweet. Uh,
he was,
did Jason get his then?
yes, he got his, and he's sending mine up pretty quick
Oh,
on
so
this weekend. Yeah,
Hammond just sent both of them to him. I got you. I got you. Yeah, that
yeah,
makes more
because
sense.
he had Jason Day got a trophy, so he just sent everything to him. It's a little easier and cheaper that way. And Jason Day just had to send mine up to where I'm at, so
Man,
it's a little cheaper that way.
what do you think the odds? I mean, what are the odds? I mean, if you really think about it, what are the odds that two guys from Canada, which Canada is a gigantic country, are in the same league and they literally live on the same island? Like, how far do you guys live from each other? It can't be far, right?
Um, so it's about 3 hour drive from between 3.5 hour drive from where he is and to me, or both versa.
That's nuts, man. I mean, that's because I'm in Florida, and Cam is also in Florida, and that's about the same distance that I'd have to drive to run into him, which that's not as rare as literally two guys in the same country on an island on top of all of it being that close to each other and being in the same league. I mean, I mean, that has to blow your mind if you just sit and think about it.
Well, it's interesting that way. It's kind of cool too. It's just like, oh, where are you from? There's a bunch of. It was hard because every time I join the league or anything like that, usually I'm only key in. Not Jason Day, of course. Well, he's in here,
Right.
so it's really neat and interesting.
And I like to poke fun at you, especially like on I don't know if you watch the road course broadcast, but I was like,
Yes,
oh yeah,
I heard.
Robert's in here, the only Canadian out of the entire group doing his thing. That's
Oh yeah,
awesome, dude. That's like because I'll be straight with anybody. I live in a trailer park, um, and that I mean to me to run into somebody that's on the same island in a country like that would to me that's like running into my neighbor and finding out like, oh hey man, I just joined this league chop shop and I race and blah blah blah. I've been like, what the hell? What are the odds of that? So that I mean that's awesome. And I don't know if you know this or not, but during Jeremiah Burke's interview, like him and Stryker met because their daughters were trick or treating. It's like it's iRacing is such a big community, that the people that you don't expect race, and you
yeah.
just never know when you're gonna run into these people. Especially, I guess we can start calling you like a world class champ because you're skiing, you're doing your Special Olympics, uh, softball master of the year type of guy. You're winning championships and sim racing. I mean, what else do you got to accomplish, man?
Well, next is the conference. Hopefully, one day get a trophy from Chop Shop. One day, I win.
Well, I mean, I think I could speak for everybody. You're not. I don't think you're far off of that. I mean, it might not. What do you think your strongest class is? The trucks?
Uh, Probably the new super late models. if I could get on time too, because lately I've been getting off a little late, so it's kind of hard to say. But hopefully, between that one or the trucks, the cup cars are affinity key right now. Not the road course. No, not the road course. I already know.
Do you guys have any road course tracks up there that those GT3s run on, or anything like that?
Uh, I think there is one, but not where I'm at. No, we do have a lot of outlaws here, but on concrete, not dirt, just concrete. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, they're alcohol fuel only.
Do you guys go
Uh,
watch those at all?
Not really. No.
What?
Uh,
So if you're not watching racing at home, but you seem like you're the kind of person obsessed with racing, what are you doing in your spare time?
well, I gotta spend time with my wife here.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Uh,
Um,
do you
and
guys
other
have any
thing.
kids?
No, we can't have kids.
You can explain.
Because my wife has seizures, epilepsy, and tuberosis in her brain or heart, one of those two. And then, so it's like a 50-50. If she did have a kid, she could die or the kid could die. It's just
Ooh.
hard to say. So we decided no kids. So, okay. So we got animals, cats mostly. And one of our cats had two cats have two a litter of kittens.
Oh man, so you're gonna have even more cats now.
But they all have good homes, so that's a bonus. We're keeping two out of them, so
So, well, okay. Well, listen. I guess the most important question here is if Ryan comes up to Canada, can Ryan crash at your place?
oh yeah,
There we go. Listen, man. I love cats, man. Cats. The cool thing about cats is like they're they're what's the way I want to put it? They're independent. Like you
yes,
don't
they're very independent. You can leave
right.
them like a few days, and not the like if you have a dog, you have to still take them like every
Yeah,
day or 3 times a day or 4 times a day. It depends, but
yeah,
cats
yeah,
are
man.
more easier.
Yeah, you just got to change the cat litter regularly, awesome, and
Yeah.
they'll leave you alone. They don't care.
Now we got a special key. Called
You know,
Hugo.
I used to have a cat. He was like a first generation domestic that my wife rescued before I met her, or I can't say before I met her, but before we got back together. And he acted like a dog. Like he was a cat, but he acted like a dog. So like if he was ready for you to wake up and get out and about and like give him some food or whatever, you'd be sleeping. He'd like get up on your chest and like bite your nose to wake you up.
It's almost like our big orange cat that he I rescued him from it's called the SPCA. That's animal people that rescue animals, and so they can't find a home. So we take other people just take them home instead. So we got one. His name is Tigger. He's almost like Garfield cat. I should call him Garfield because he loves his cheese. Don't give him cheese. He gets there, and he's a big, huge flirt. So he likes to grab anybody and pull them down with his one claw. Uh, he's just a good character cat.
That's awesome.
But he
Yeah.
passed away in 2020, so it is all good.
Well, and for some reason, I don't understand why most people prefer a dog over a cat. Anyways, I mean, cats are just they can be just as affectionate as a dog can, but they just don't care. They're not going to sit for you when you tell them to sit. I got one for you. Have you ever had a cat that's willing to jump in the bathtub with you?
Yes, I did one time. I actually named that cat Jaws. I don't know why I call a cat named Jaws, but one day I call him Jaws because when I had a kiddie pool when I was a kid, he was swimming in the kiddie pool. A bunch of my friends were watching it. My mom got mad at me, of course, and I got grounded for it. But when my mom started to run her bath, my cat literally jump right in the bathtub, beat her into it, swim around. And then one day, if you have your hand getting off the bed or anything like that, it will
Just want
actually
to attack
really
it.
attack it.
Yeah,
Eats anything like spiders or whatever. But that's why I call it Jaws.
that's all. Did it catch you off guard at first when it jumped in the water?
My mom got freaked out and she apologized to me and all that. She said, "Okay, well, don't have to worry about fleas."
That's all. Well, I mean, d- which that was kind of my next question. Like, I mean, it stays pretty cold up there. I mean, I guess I don't know how it is during the summertime, but I mean, is that something like you typically have to worry about? It's just fleas.
Summer, of course, fleas. Winter it doesn't get cold where we are at because we're
Really?
on the island. Yeah, it doesn't get that cold right now. I think it was like, let's just see here.
Yeah, because I'm looking at my like it's 64 down here, but I'm obviously way south.
Yeah, so right now it's 3 Celsius right now. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.
Where you
I
guys
don't
in
either.
Fahrenheit?
We'll look.
Um,
Let's look it up. We'll look it up. What is? Let's see here. 3C2 Fahrenheit. 37.4 degrees in Fahrenheit.
yeah,
So you would be above freezing because I think freezing's 32 or 34 or something like that.
yeah. It gets cold. We're actually supposed to be -2, 3 tonight, but it's it's cold sometimes.
You know, and that's the other thing that I always found fascinating because like the United States is like the only country that uses the standard system. And I've never understood why. I mean, because we look like idiots when we try. I mean, we look like idiots right now. If Joe Biden gets voted in again, I'm moving to your house. I can't put up with it no more. Just listen, buddy. I need a little space for my rig. All right, you just find me a little hole somewhere and just let me go racing.
Oh yeah,
Let's get back on the racing track here.
oh yeah.
Um, you know, you're one of the 1 star admins here. Um, what what do you think we can do better as a whole to just to get Chop Shop to grow and progress further to make it just that much bigger and that much better?
Well, one, I think we just start off from along with each other. Of course, that's number one. Get along with each other. Get know each other that way, and then we start progress. Say do a lot more recruiting race as much as we can. Things to put on Facebook groups, on racing groups. Um, a lot of YouTube stuff too, or anything like that to bring more people in, trying to make it grow bigger and better.
Yeah. What I mean, what's your favorite thing about it? Like, what is it about Chop Shop that's like, man, this is home?
I like great guys here. They're all funny and fun, great. People are they're still learning, but we're all having a great time with each other here. Like you, Ryan, of course. Sometimes I get a little under your nerves, but we all like each other anyways. Down the
Oh,
road
absolutely.
next day, um, same with John. Sometimes I could get under his nerves sometimes, but we're all getting along with each other. But we're all having fun.
Well, and I think like I think one of the big things is it's the attitude stuff's kind of like a light switch, and if you don't know when to flip that switch on and off, then I think that's the issue. Like obviously, if I had, you and I had, I can't say you and I had beef against you at one point, and I came directly to you. Like I didn't make it public. It was all private, strictly between you and me. And,
Yeah.
obviously it was like, I was like, listen, this is where I stand. I knew where you stood. And that was that. Right. And I think a lot of these guys, I think that's something learned over a course of just growing older. I think, you know, I would have pegged you to be in your 30s. Obviously, you're not. You're in your 40s. Did you? I mean, I'm sure you can relate though. Like you don't get as worked up about stuff, nowadays that you would have 10 or even 20 years ago.
Yeah. Uh, Probably when I was younger, I was a troublemaker. So it's just like my
Rober's a
attitude.
troublemaker? No way.
No, it's just that attitude changes when you get older. So when I got older, my attitude changes a lot more nicer. So that's why everybody's saying I'm nice as Canadian because I don't get mad. I just let it by. I don't care. Let them have a beef on me. I don't care. Doesn't bother me any. That's on them, not me.
Well, you know what? I mean, they say peace of mind is everything. If like me and my wife, we have a rule that we don't go to bed angry at each other. Never. Like we could have the world's largest colossal fight known to man, which never happens anyways, but our number one rule is no matter what happens, we don't go to bed angry together. And that has, I mean, our relationship's awesome because of it. And obviously you and your wife have a sweet relationship too.
Oh yeah, we do. There's no such thing as perfect couples, marriage, or anything like that. It's everybody has little beefs and arguments. That's part of marriage. But we all get along. It's just like racing. We get along. We all have beefs, but we still get along with down the next day because it's just past, let it by.
How long have you and your wife been married?
It will be 13 years and end of this month on the 28th of February.
So you got married like right at 30?
I was 26 and 30 for me.
26 for her, 30 for you?
Yeah.
Oh, so you were a cradle robber, huh?
Yep.
That's what we call you. We call the old cats going after the youngins, a cradle robber.
Yeah. We got we want to get married before I leave to Athens, Greece in 2011. So we got married in 2011 on February 28th. It was
She didn't
cool
go
back.
with. She didn't go with you.
No, no. Because it's for the athletes going, but it's way too much money to go for anybody to go there to watch. So
Yeah.
but I'd keep her updated, everything. But it was a little weird because it's like almost 10, a little bit more than 10 hours difference from where I'm at. Well, in Athens than here. So it's like
Right.
if I start my competition, she's in bed already and stuff like that.
Hey, listen. When you're married, though, that just gives you the right to be waking her up. Be like, listen, woman, I married you. If I want to wake you up with good news, I'm gonna wake you up with good news.
Oh, I did on her birthday. I woke her up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That a boy. That's awesome. That's awesome. Man, dude, I would never pegged you for a skier. That's just that for some reason out of this whole little podcast, that's one won't take away from this. This cat used to race on skis. I don't even know how you do that.
It's hard.
That's amazing. What you said you quit the whole the Special Olympics whatnot because your leg. What happened there?
So I was. It's called Rennet hockey. It's like a big, huge hole, pelvic. It's like a big donut, but it has a little hole in it, and we just had to use a dowling as a stick. So you had to put the stick through the hole and play it. I was doing my qualifying that year, and a heavy set guy kind of landed on top of me and broke my fibia and my tibia bone on my right side.
Ouch.
So I was off, and I had to hurry up to get try to get ready to for my worlds in LA. So I barely made it. So I was in no pain at the time because I had a metal rod in my leg too. So it's just it gets sore once in a while too. So it's just
What was your recovery time on that?
so I broke it end of the year of January. I was it's 6 weeks to heal. Um, that I can't walk on one leg, so I was hopping one leg. So I was stretching or a wheelchair, but it was tough.
They didn't give you crutches or anything.
Oh, I did. I got it from the Red Cross. It's called. We just had to donate like $5, and we get everything what we needed for what I need for my stuff for myself, like toilet seat height, a bench in the bathtub, um,
Man, you were
crutches,
all
wheelchair.
you were all handicapped there for a minute, weren't you?
Oh yeah, I had to sleep downstairs. My wife had to sleep upstairs because I couldn't get up and down the stairs at the time being until I said I can't do it anymore. So I had to use my rear end to go up and down the stairs instead.
The old infant scoot is what I like to call that.
Yep.
That's awesome. It's not awesome. That sucks. But the whole scooting down the stairs and up the stairs is pretty funny.
It's like I'm racing up this down the stairs with my rear end, trying to get up the stairs as fast as I can.
That's man, you've had a pretty interesting life, man. Like
Oh yeah,
it's
it was pretty
it's not
tough.
it's not every day that you meet somebody that has traveled, that much and, did sporting events with, other people that are that good in the entire world. I mean, we're not talking about, like in Canada, we're talking the world. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
do you ever sit back and just think like, holy cow, like I was one of the best in the world.
Yep. It's like when we won that medals, we're like, wow, we're number 2 in the whole world, number 3 in the whole world. It, it's really nice. Say, wow, I did all that for
Right,
all
man.
that training and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, that's something. I mean, that's something to brag about. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Maybe. I think it's coming. It might not be.
But I give you a heads up. Bless you.
I've tried. It won't come out. I hate that. Um, but I mean, there's a lot of people in this world that will never experience anything like that. So I mean, that's
No.
just something. That's something that if I were you, I would brag about until the end of time. Be like, listen, tell your friends, tell your family. Been like, oh man, in my younger days, I was the bee's knees, son. I was the bee's knees.
Yeah. One day I'll get to. My wife wants to go to Disneyland, and I haven't been there before, but but it's just I want to go to Daytona.
If I tell you what, if for whatever reason you do ever get a chance to go to Disney Disney World, because Disneyland's in California, Disney World's in Florida. If you ever go to Disney World, that's 40 square miles. It's huge, and when I have to go quote jobs there, I get lost. I mean, I don't. It's so big. I don't even know where the parks are because they're so split up, and like you have to take a bus because like it'll be like a 10 to 15 mile drive just from one park to the next. It's that big. It's gigantic.
Crazy.
And Daytona's huge too. Like
Yeah,
Daytona's
we want
big.
to we want to see Daytona. I want to watch NASCAR.
Well, I mean, my goal is to go to the 500 one of these days, but you better
One day.
have a billfold for it. I mean, that's one of those things you got to save for a couple years, to be able to do.
Yeah, especially
Um,
Canada money is a little bigger, more money that we had to put up.
yeah, yeah, because I mean, you would have to. I mean, can you convert it in Canada to US, or do you have to go to the
Yeah.
US to convert it?
No, you can go any bank account, any banks around in Canada to convert to whatever money that you want to go to, like U.S., Europe, or anywhere like that.
I mean, you don't have to do that though. Like when you order things online, do you? You just select what, like the currency that you're paying in.
Yeah, like PayPal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, or anything I purchase on Amazon or anything like that, or iracing credits because iracing credits are U.S. money, so I had to convert that to Canadian money. So,
So yeah, especially when you send it to, like Hammond or
or
whoever.
or
Yeah.
pay the league some money or whatever, or donate money. Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah, man, that's just the small things that even us down here when we're dealing with each other take for granted, that like you and Day, that's like you have to spend just a little bit more to do the exact same things we do, which is kind of messed up, but
Yeah,
it's the way of the world, my friend. It's the way of the world.
it'd be nice if the whole world has that same money. It'd be perfect.
But yeah, I've never understood why. Well, I guess the problem with that is whoever makes that currency would control that currency, and that's the issue right there.
Yeah,
So, um, back to the chop shop stuff.
yeah.
I get sidetracked super easy, so just
I
bear
know
with me.
that's a problem.
You're a pretty incredible person, and this conversation went a little bit different than I thought it would, to be honest with you. Um, so I asked you, what you think we could do to be bigger and better and moving forward. What who's your biggest rival? Obviously, you're a nice guy. You don't really have rivals, but
Nope.
in your eyes, like who do you think is like the most challenging to you to deal with on the track on a regular basis?
There's no one is my enemy because I don't know why I'm the nicest Canadian here, so I don't know. I don't have any enemies really. The challenges would be for me to at least beat Kobe or Nate.
Yeah. Well, you got to watch out for both those guys. They both cheat. I don't know how they cheat, but you got to watch out for those guys.
Oh
There's
yeah.
something there's something going on there, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it eventually.
Or we could just have a whole alliance against them. That'd be okay. Then what are
Hey,
they gonna do?
that's what we should do. Yeah, well, the next time we go to a plate track or whatever, the whole league will get in a line, and we won't let them two a-holes in there, and they could just cycle to the back and try win the race.
Yeah.
See, I like where your head's at. Smart move. Listen, that's that's a good move. Um, what's your plan moving forward? Like, give us like a projection of like the next 5 years of your life. What's the goal? Where do you see yourself? What's the plans there?
Getting old with my wife, that's okay. More marriage with her. Uh, just still racing the course, still working the course. Got a long ways to work, anyways. 65 is a long ways for me, so I'll be okay for a while. Trying to make new friends too, more and more and more, and have a great race with our guys with Chops Up.
Do you, I was going to ask earlier, and I just thought of it now. Do you ever hear? Does your I'm assuming your wife watches the races in another room. Do you ever hear her like screaming at the TV when you're on there?
No,
No,
she's
it's
quiet. No, our other guys are the other parents with a Frank, and they our godson's parents. They cheer me on sometimes. Like earlier tonight, they cheer me on, but that didn't work well. But that's okay. But my race didn't work well, so things happen. So I
well,
get a lot of people to cheer me on. I got a couple of people on Facebook asking about who's any key and drivers? Well, and Jason said, yeah, there's one, me, or Jason, there's two.
Well, yeah, and I want to touch base on that because we had a race tonight in the Next Gen Series at Pocono, and we went through the stage. Roberge stayed out as always. You can just count on that every time. And I stayed out, and you got to jump on me. And coming out of one, somebody got loose and looped it all by himself, which you don't see too often come from you,
No.
which is why I'm bringing it up because it's funny because it's like Roberge knew there was a pack of hyenas coming for him, and he was like, I don't want to stick around for it, and he overdrove his car. And it's funny that that happened to you because with 20 laps to go or 10 laps to go, I did it to myself too. Took myself out. So it's like, buddy, I'm in the same boat you are. We both had a horrible night, and it's all because of we drove too hard.
Yeah, at the time that race, yeah, I'm kind of surprised that you stayed out with me. I'm kind of surprised about that because you never stayed out too.
I know.
And then I saw you behind me and I said, okay. Well, I had a choice between King or Bigger. So I decided, inside be okay because I could hold down so if I have a good jump, a good start, I could get down to below the line, but I sitting down to that because I kind of didn't like that at all. I put a little bit too much juice, too much gas on before the corner, and I just looped it, got loose, trying to slow it down, and somehow my car just turned really fast. And I try to brake and I try to reverse it quickly to avoid hitting that wall, but it was just going too fast, and I just smuck it. And I think I got into 44 and Mark Retchen.
Oh man, it happens. It's well, it's just when I got in today, and then I pushed day into you. And obviously you got the worst
I
end
got
of
the
that
worst
ordeal.
in
Yeah,
last week.
and obviously 1,000% my fault. No, there's no question about it. But I don't think it would have been as bad as it was if Thompson wasn't behind me and run through me because I straightened Day back out. You would have, depending on whether or not you would have hit other cars, it could have been a 50-50 shot
I
there,
think
But
I would have saved it, but someone just nailed me hard, and that was the end of my race. Almost end of my
yeah,
race there.
I still feel horrible about it because that was just stupid why I did that. And I was on fresh tires, you weren't, and I was like, and you kept taking the bottom, which was the only line you could have took because that was the only line moving at the time, and I needed just a little more space. So because I mean I would have got around you regardless, but I pushed it too hard, and it is what it is. That's racing.
Was actually the funniest part. That race with a truck was you and I both had the same tire too because and I think Jason Day was got older tires and that's where we're both were moving up slowly. And then I think you stayed on the bottom lane too long,
Yep.
and that's when things happened. You did check
Well,
up, I heard, but
no, I mean I watched it many times, and I was like, you could see me come back up on top of the racing surface, and I just had a huge run. And I was like, man, I can get around Day. And then the corner peaked up. I'm like, okay, Day will move up for me. Like he told me, he's like, dude, I couldn't go up because Roberge didn't go up. And I was like, well, why'd Roberge hold us down? And then the 44 was on the outside of you. And I was
yeah,
like, well, shit, man, I put it four wide. What an idiot, So it's just a misjudgment on my part. I should have been more patient because we would have both made it to the top 10, I think, no
oh
problem,
yeah,
which is
you would
what
have.
my goal was, for some points. But it is what it is, man. It's done, over
It's
with.
racing.
Yeah, it's you live and you learn type of thing. Um, man, you've gave us a lot of insight about you that I don't think a lot of people knew about. which is awesome because I would have never known you traveled the world playing softball. I would have never known that you were like a competitive ski racer, whatever the hell they call that.
Anything with racing, right?
It's it's what?
Anything with racing.
Yeah, anything with racing. Well, I mean, softball has nothing to do with racing, really,
You got to
but
race to get the ball before the ball gets to you.
that's true. Did you have
You got
any
to run
home
both
runs
ways.
when you did that, or do they call them home runs?
Yeah, we have there's home runs there. No, I didn't get any home runs because I was injured, so I can't run that fast at the time. So I was just getting to base, to base, to base as much as I can.
What position did you play?
I played like four different positions that year after when I broke my leg. So I was a pitcher. Um, I was a back catcher. I was a first baseman and the second baseman. So all four positions there.
Jeez, you were
Because
all over the place.
they didn't want me to go too far because of my leg and all that. Because they don't want to aggravate it and hurt it more and all that stuff. So they just stick me near the bases and all that easy stuff.
Was that one of those things? Did they like ask you to like sit out, or did they ask you if you wanted to sit out, or was
No,
it
they didn't ask. They knew that I had a broken leg, so like we had a thing called a training camp. That one year I was so good at training camp, and then when I broke my leg, I had to retrain it again. So it's a little slower on my times that I do my training camp. So it was like back to learning, back to learning things again. So it's just like okay. They just asked if it hurts. So the way the rule is, you have to hit a ball first, run to the base, and then you can switch to a different base person. So if I get on first, I could get off and let other person go on, and he could do my job for me.
oh,
Run.
so like a relief runner or what
Yeah,
what have you? Okay, that's cool. Well, man, I'm glad that all worked
it'd
out
be
for
nice.
you.
It'd be nice if we have that for cars. So if someone gets knocked out, we got extra tires or whatever.
If that listen, if that's the case, Nate can drive my car as much as he wants.
Yeah, because you're both running the same cars, right? Toyotas.
We're running Toyotas, but I mean I suck and he doesn't. So I mean he can win the races as long as I get the trophies.
Yeah, right.
And we got to run my paint scheme. Hear me, Nate? I don't want no hockey crap on my car. I'm not I'm not a hockey fan.
We
You
are
yeah, you're in Canada. Of course you are.
actually kind of surprising. Our Vancouver is doing very well. We're actually two like we're in 80 points right now in the league, and the other two are tied right now. Florida and Boston are tied for
Really?
second place. Yeah, Boston, Nate's team, and Florida are
I
tied.
got I guess I need to start rooting on Florida then. What do they call themselves?
Florida Panthers.
Florida Panthers?
Yeah,
That doesn't make any damn sense.
yeah, I know, right?
We can't be the. Is it because the college team's the Gators? We can't use Gators no more,
I don't know.
or call it the Florida Pythons because we got Burmese pythons everywhere, killing our ecosystem. You guys don't have any crazy ass things like that up there, do you? Other than like your typical like moose and elk and all that fun stuff. As
Uh,
for like wildlife,
on the island, we actually have nothing but cougars, deers, black bears. There's no moose because the island is a little different. We did have moose one time, swam from one on the mainland to here one time, but it didn't make it very long. Um, no grizzly bears, but a lot of cougars and deers and
I
eagles, of course.
do you, does cougar like? Do you guys ever see cougars like dead on the side of the road from like cars hitting them or anything?
No, just a lot of deers.
Just yeah. Well, I mean, deer are dumb, but
Oh,
typically when somebody,
they're pretty stupid around here sometimes. But when I heard from one of my workers, he's a deer hunter. They're pretty smart when they're hunting. so they run. So
Uh,
deers are
it's
real
always,
smart for that, but they're pretty stupid when they're getting hit by vehicles.
it's like they have an internal alarm, like they know exactly when deer season is, so they're like, yeah, they'll it's like they'll be at one place all year long. Deer season hits, you'll never see that deer again until deer season's over. Then they'll be right back at that same spot. I've
Yeah.
never understood it myself. Anyways, Roberge, we're at an hour 20. I don't think there's really anything else to ask you. You were pretty open about everything. I normally like to take this opportunity or time frame. We gotta go through our sponsors. Obviously, we couldn't do any of this without any of our sponsors. Um, we got Fuego Paints, C2 Gaming, My Three Sons Track Racer, the Balla Status Boys, Speedy Trophies, Admin Box, Geomax, Virtual Velocity Racing, MCI Graphics, and we have now Stay Tuned Sports as our Cup Pole Award for the guys that get the pole position in the Cup Series. So we love them all, right? Like we couldn't do any of this without any of our sponsors. Obvious, and for some reason I always forget to bring up Signature Esports. Jason, I apologize yet again. I didn't forget though because I'm bringing you up right now. But in previous podcasts, I have forgot about him. And Jason plays a major role, and in Chop Shop. He's our primary broadcaster. He has personally helped me with the broadcasting that I've done, the settings on my monitors for the iRacing, and he's always willing to help anybody and everybody. So thank you, Jason. Alex Thompson, thanks for this fancy dancy microphone. I feel like I'm more professional now. Do I look professional, Chris?
Oh yeah, you are.
Yeah, see? Thanks, Alex. You hooked me up, buddy. I appreciate it. So Roberge, you got anybody you'd like to thank? Now's the time, brother.
Well, I want a big thanks for you there, Ryan, for this great podcasting here. Thank you for all that. Century Esports, of course, for broadcasting for us week in, week out. You guys are like 2, 3 races with us. Um, Chop Shop, of course, for letting all of our guys race with you guys. Other things, like the big huge support from my wife, of course. She loves to watch us, and now she's watching us doing the podcasting here. The godson of ours, Frank, and his parents.
Perfect. Hey, make sure when your wife's in that broadcast and she decides to chat a little thing up, she can root on that number 40 card too. All right.
You can say it there.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. I just earned another fan touchdown. All right, guys. We're gonna call it quits. Thanks again, Mr. Roberge, for coming on here. Especially, you knew I was struggling to find somebody kind of last minute, so I do appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this.
Oh yeah, no problem. Well, I heard you were trying to get someone else to get in, but couldn't get anybody for that Friday, so that's why I contacted you to say I could do it, I guess.
Hey, man, hey, you had the spare time. That worked out for everybody. Obviously, we were going to do this earlier today, but we waited a little bit later so I can get this little boom arm thing, installed. So that's awesome. But yeah, we're gonna call it a night. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm your host Ryan. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and if you do, take pictures. We'll see you on the next episode.